Welcome to the talk show where men unite. We're having conversations that inspire and ignite. From relationships to wellness, we cover it all. In this positive space, we're standing tall. We're the men of the talk show, spreading good vibes, sharing knowledge, opening hearts wide. We got positive energy flowing through. Join the conversation, let us empower you.
All right.
Welcome back to another episode of the Men's Talk Show. Wayne and Deron are here again, and we are so happy that you're here viewing this with us. And we really appreciate you guys' support, your views on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram, and your comments. It really motivates us to keep us going, especially during tough weeks like this last one we just had. Today's Sunday, and I've had to go on work Saturday. I had to go on work today, so pretty much 7 days straight. And that's life in the military. It gets pretty stressful. How about you, Deron? How's your life going? Or this past week?
It's going terrible.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that. What's going on?
Our job is making everybody work mandatory over hours. So I had a meeting with my offsite manager and let them know that, that's not going to continue to keep happening with contractors, because contractors basically, they only work a certain amount of hours that they're contracted to work Monday through Friday and no more than that. And so basically they wanted even the contractors to work Saturdays and Sundays too. And when I talked to my offsite manager, he said that's not happening. And that's not going to continue to, if it continues to happen, then let him know that. But the senior manager at our job is not very happy about that. And he's been giving people dirty looks, having tantrums and going around, every time he'll see me, he'll just go in his room and close the office, as if he didn't walk by me or can't even say hello. And it's just little things like that just, is pushing me further and further to quitting this job, to be honest.
That's the difference. I always see these like little memes on Google and things like that, but this is like an inspirational one. It's like, is a picture, like the Roman chariots, what those were, right? The horse and the chariot and the guys up there. And so this one, right, has like 6 like stick people, and it says the leader, right, is in the chariot. I wish I could draw.
Basically making him do whatever he want them to do. Is that what you're saying?
So like that, right? So the leader's here, and then you got the people, and you're just like, do whatever I want, right?
Mm-hmm.
But real leaders are in the front. And then the second part of the meme is here. This is the leader here, out here in the front, leading the way, making sure everybody has what they need to do the job, right? And so that's the difference between a manager and a leader. A manager just stands there and doesn't motivate anybody. It's not inspiring, doesn't help his team. It's just like, all right, y'all need to figure it out and just do the job. I don't care if you got to work overtime or not. But a leader is the one who's sitting there and makes sure that you have what you need and you're satisfied and you're happy to come to work, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it seems like. The person there is just a manager, right? They just watch people. They don't know how to give direction, how to make things more efficient. If you're having to come in and do overtime, it seems like things aren't very efficient, which is a result of the manager's inability, right?
And given that, to be fair, we worked with a client that requires a lot of things to get done in the nick of time. So in order to compensate that for low staff, we have to work overtime. And whatever the client works, I'm not going to name the actual client, but whatever the client wants, they get what they want. And at the expense of our mental health, us working overtime, and we even working overtime on the weekdays too. So where do we draw the line of saying enough is enough? So then I had conversations with different employees, and they're kind of just telling me the same thing. They're telling me bad management. They don't know how to run a fucking business. To the bottom line of it, they want people to come in overtime Monday through Friday, and then you want us to come in Saturday and Sunday too and work overtime. You want us to act professional when you're going around here saying things blatantly, lying to employees, telling them different things and that don't add up, and they're just messy as fuck. And I'm just so disgusted how they even became at the top. They might as well go back to being an employee, because that's not the way you operate. Don't just say whatever I say is go. And the fact that my senior manager had told me and the other contractor that works there that, oh, your offsite manager is going to approve that overtime. No, the fuck, he did not approve that. He told them that we already stretched too thin. My guys are already working 45-hour plus work weeks. If you ask for anything more, we're walking out the door and never fucking coming back. Because what you don't understand as an IT guy, I'm the glue that holds it all together, but I'm the glue that can make it all fall apart at the same time. Because without me, all the technical issues would be, you know.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no,
So
I
push me,
definitely
and
hear
I'm
that.
almost out the door.
And that's the thing, like for me, as I get ready to transition, I hear what you're going through. And that's what sticks in my mind as I'm getting ready to transition out the military. And what I'm looking for and in my next employer is that I don't want to go to a place where like the money's good, but I'm miserable and I hate coming to work. And that sounds like that's kind of where you're at right now.
It is like, I have to, and then my boss texts me. He's like, "Well, we want you, we hope that you come back on Monday." Let me think about that for a minute and decide, because as a mental health, as this talk show, we talk about mental health a lot, and it could be either relationships, it can be friendships, it can be jobs that's stressing you out. Everybody's mental health matters at a certain degree. No matter what race you is, you have to get the help that you really need when you need it. So if you have to take a break from your toxic job and find something else, do that, because we only can handle so much. And they don't care about our mental health. None of these jobs. I don't care if you think you have the best manager in the world. They're going to show you just how much they don't care. When you're not feeling well, you don't say, "How are you doing? Are you okay to come back to work?" They're not going to say that. They're not going to be there when you're laying sick on the ground or you're in the hospital because you're overworked and just can't feel like, and just feel like so exhausted from your job. They're not gonna care.
Well,
They're
I
gonna
will say that I feel like based on the people I spoke to in the corporate world, things are definitely changing. The culture, they're changing at the top, they're changing, right? And so it takes a while for that to trickle down. And it's not every company that is changing. But
definitely.
there's a lot of it's definitely growing with health and wellness within corporations. And granted, it's not every corporation. I said it's growing. But then so the top, the CEOs, the chief people officer, human resource, all those may say, and the chief recruiting officer, whatever. It's, yeah, we care about our people and we have all these benefits for them and they have mental health time and all this and that. But the supervisor and the manager, right, or the project manager, whoever is the one who really can affect whether you can take advantage of those benefits or not, right? Because let's say they have a mental health days every quarter, you can just take a mental health day, you still get paid. But the manager be like, can you postpone that? Like, I really need you. We got to finish this thing up. And it's the supervisors who are the ones who's not really implementing what's coming down from the top some of these times. And there's times where it may be the supervisors who want to do that, but up the top they get pushed back. So, it goes both ways. And it sounds like you got your offsite manager is kind of supporting you, but the one that you see every day is definitely not.
I definitely agree with what you had said, but it has to start somewhere. It needs to be a place where we can take our mental days, because they don't have quote unquote mental days. It's either sick days or vacation days. They don't have that built into the policies, because they think we're just supposed to work, 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 and never take a day off. Well, you
I
keep
mean,
on doing that. You keep
that's what
on
they
doing
want,
that.
right? They want, and if you've seen that movie with Will Smith, I think it was called AI, where he had the robots.
iRobot, I think. Yeah, that's what it was called. Yeah.
Yeah, iRobot. There you go. And like the robots just do everything. That's what they want. That's why these companies are pushing so hard for AI, because they want to get rid of the human factor. And the employee who wants benefits and who doesn't want to stay overtime and who needs to take care of their mental health and who has sick kids that they have to go pick up from school. And robots don't have that. And so that's why employers are looking so hard for those robotics and AI to take over some of the lower level jobs from.
Yeah, and not to put it on one specific subject of, toxic work environments or just stressed out from your job. It could even be like, friendships and relationships. Literally, I was just talking to my friend the other day, and he was saying he was just in a toxic relationship. Like, the woman would cheat on him, he would get back with her. The woman would cheat, he would try to keep giving her multiple chances. He would try everything to, get her the mental support that she needed. But instead, it just felt like the relationship wasn't going anywhere. She just kept stringing him along. She kept lying to him. She kept gaslighting him. And then
Yeah.
you just think, like, do I want to keep being in this relationship? Do I want to keep trying to make this work when it's toxic and messy as fuck? I'm already, you deal with stress from your job, you deal with stress from your family, then you have to deal with, friendships too, all that things that we already talked about and covered. So I'm not gonna go too deep into all those, but it's just all these stresses combined together that, at some point you feel like you want to snap if you don't get that help that you need. But like we said, we are a big supporter of, getting that therapist, having your group of, guy friends and talking it out. But, I feel like guys, we hold so much in that,
And we
it,
do. Absolutely. And that's a part of, like when you grow up as a boy, you're taught to be strong, don't cry, you got to be there to take care of the family, this and that. And so um and then dealing with, growing up as a teenager, not knowing who you can trust and fake friends, and then you just become isolated on the inside with emotionally, right?
and a lot
And
of mistrust too as well,
yeah,
because you
and
don't know.
you're afraid to be vulnerable. And that's the big thing with men, like we're afraid to be vulnerable and just show like we have weakness. And that's what, like, it's still hard for for me to like make male friends, because I always feel like you have to compete against them. So it's easier to find a female friend because necessarily don't feel like I have to compete with them as much, and like I can be vulnerable because I know they'll probably understand my emotions. Like, I'm having a tough day. They're like, "Oh, how you doing? Oh, that's so hard. You felt like that, or you had to go through that. Let me know if I can make it better." And God be like, "All right, man. Yeah, same with me." Like,
Yeah,
you
like
want to
they
watch the
don't
game?
express that
Yeah,
those emotions like they need to, but that's why we do what we do here, to get people to open up more. I want people to take care of I want mental health to be your number one priority. Your job, your toxic relationship with your girl or boyfriend or your family, you got to put you first, because at the end of the day, if you keep putting everybody else first, who's going to be there to put you first? And
yeah.
you get a lot of pushback from your friends and your family, like, oh, you're not there to support me. And every time I tell you something, people, they just want to just act like, they're the victim all the time. What about all the stuff that I did for you? What about all the stuff that I've been there and saw you and helped you through? And then you want to tell me that I'm not never there for you? No.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's it's expected of us, right,
Mm.
to do these things, and expected of us to not want anything in return, right? We're just givers and providers. That's what we are. We do that for everybody else, but when we need something or want something like support, male support, or anything like that, we're looked at as weak in society. Things are changing, right? That's why we have this show here that we're doing, and then there's a whole lot more of these types of shows that are out there. Um, and a lot of people now are talking about their mental health. And one thing I wanted to talk about was that we don't have a lot of close friends as well. As I said earlier, it's hard for me to make male friends. And, so there's a report from the LA Times that they did, and they published this in 2001, where it said 1 in 7 men had close friends. Only 1 in 7 men. So 15% of men only have close friends.
And that's
How do you
sad.
feel about that?
That's sad. I can feel that. Because a lot of the new friends that I had made, I just noticed they're being really distant right now. And, you know, given that we work and we have families and we have lives outside of each other, I understand that. But if we're gonna be a friend group, we gotta continue to communicate with each other. Let us know what's going on in your life. Don't hide things, because if we're friends, we're supposed to be able to come and talk to each other and confide, and not just, and sometimes it feels like I'm always just giving and I'm saying everything that's on my mind, and then I don't get that same level of, comfortability from them. I want you to be able to come to me in your darkest times. We are going to be hitting on our darkest times next, episode next weekend. So that's going to be very interesting when we have our guests on there. So, come to me in your darkest times. I've had many darkest times. There's going to be a lot of stories that I have yet to told on this talk show that I'm willing to really get deeper into next season and the season below. So what you hear is just the tip of the iceberg. I have so many more stories to tell, and you'll be like, "What?"
Like I heard this before, and I can't remember where I heard this before. And I think I said this last season. Like, there's 5 major things, right, in life, and you got like religion, professional growth, your family, money, and social aspect, right? And you can only prioritize 3 of those things, right? So you got to provide the money, right? So professional, and then family, right? If you're a single guy, you don't really have to worry about it so much. But if you got kids, even if you're not single, if you're single, you still have your brothers and sisters, aunts,
Yeah, and
uncles,
they
whatever.
might depend on you for something.
But when it's different when you got kids, like you have to provide for them. And then like the third may be like religion or, recreation. Like you can't give all your time to everything. And then so too many of us, like me, I took out all those other things. So I took out social, and I took out not immediate family, but family outside my little circle. Uh, Put more focus on my professional and my immediate family. And was it worth it? No, not really. But that's how I felt like I had to deal with. Now, like I've heard, like if you can't give 100 minutes to something, but you have 10 minutes, give 100% during that 10 minutes, and that'll help, right? And that's the way I try to look at things now. So, like, even if somebody wants to do a phone call with me or catch up with a family member or something, or just do something with my kids, like, I may not have an hour, but I got 10 minutes, I got 15 minutes, and at that time, you're going to get all of me. And that's the way I try to look at things now. And with that, I can kind of do more with my time that I do have.
I never heard it put that way. It's a different take on that. Because I feel like when I don't have time, just to be honest, I just kind of like say, I don't have time, but I will get back with you another day. Because if I'm really busy with other projects and side hustles and working full time, if I don't have the dedicated time, please know that it's not that I don't care. It's just that I'm really busy, and that has to be priority. I can always schedule another, meeting with my friends and, with my family members, because I'm gonna see those people as long as I'm still living. I'm hoping, God willingly, but I'm gonna always be able to be around, but just give me the courtesy and the respect, because I can't always be there and make it a priority 7 days a week for you, like you might want. So it's a give and take with everything. But I really like that you put that. If I'm gonna be with you for at least 10 minutes, I'm gonna give my all in that. And
Yeah,
and that may not be enough for some people though, that
it may not. And if they and this is what I'm gonna say to you, like, because I said for a long time I blocked out so many things that I now wish I would have spent more time with friends that who are close by, because now everybody's like moved away, or reconnected with family, stay connected with family when I was young in the military. So now I'm looking at 20 years later, and like planning my retirement ceremony, and I'm looking at the list of the people on my Facebook, like, man, these all used to be close, but who am I actually going to invite? Who's actually coming? Who have I actually spoke to in the last 10 years? So and part of that's my fault too. And some of it is people just don't understand. Like when you're trying to build yourself, you're trying to take care of something, they just like, oh, you just trying to do your own thing. You don't care about us. It's like, no, you do. Like you said, you do have to prioritize and do what you can to accomplish your goals. Um, but I would say, like, if you can, if people are asking 7 days from you, that's too much. But if you have time and you're like, you know what, instead of watching this show, I'm going to give them 15 minutes, right? That
Yeah,
can make a world of difference in somebody's, in somebody's day, and then also help keep that relationship going. So that may be something to think about.
yeah, yeah. It
Hold
is.
to those boundaries. Hold to
Yeah,
those boundaries too. That's what I've learned definitely about myself now as I've branched out more. It's like, I can't do it this day, but I could do it this day, or you got this amount of time, and stick to those boundaries.
yeah. And you have to be like that with work too. Don't be a pushover for your boss. Like if you have to do it and they threaten, say you got to work overtime, you better be finding another job then, because you don't have to stick with toxic things. You don't have to stick
Yeah.
with toxic work environments. You don't have to stick with toxic friends. You don't have to stick with toxic family. You know how many family members I cut off to this day, and then I don't even talk to, and they want to know, and they keep trying to friend me on Facebook. Get the clue
Hey,
that I don't want to be bothered with you.
hey, why the same people keep sending the same requests? Like, I swear, like the same family member, I've probably added like 3 different times. Like, why I keep having to add you? And now
Yeah,
I'm just like, man, whatever. I don't even post on Facebook anyway. So
yeah.
like, what you keep trying to add me now? Like, I ain't talked in 15 years. Like, you can send me a message. I'm on Messenger. If you really want to talk, you can send me a message. But
But
ain't
those are
nobody
the
sending
people that
message.
I had to cut off because they was very toxic in my life when I was growing up as a child. I'm not getting in deep into that today, but it's just know that I had to cut those people off, for my own mental health. If your family members are toxic, you don't understand that when you're little, but you understand that something's not right when you can feel and you get a sense of anxiousness when you're around a particular family member, or when you're just dealing with, you're just seeing a whole lot of chaos in you, but you don't know how to really process it as a child, but you understand that it's wrong. So then when you get older, you say, oh, what they did and what they said was wrong. And now that I'm an adult, I can move on. I don't have to be stuck there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny when you talk about that, like with family. So, the one thing that comes to my mind is the barrel of crabs, right? Barrel of crabs. So you go to the store and you get the bucket of crabs, right? You go and you take the tongs and you get the barrel and you try to pull one crab out, and all the rest are holding on, right, weighing you down. And that's what it is in life sometimes. Like when you're trying to branch out and grow, and you got those people from your past who are steady holding on to you, either trying to ride your coattails up or trying to keep you, because they feel threatened because you may succeed in something that they can't, or they're afraid to even try.
Yeah, I definitely would agree that, like, you got to do you at the end of the day, because all I know this says black men's mental health matters, but all men's mental health matters.
We all going through this.
Yeah, we're all going through this. But that's all I really had to say today. This was kind of like a venting section for both of us, because I know we give the talk show and we give advice to men, but today was kind of like about us to kind of just like vent and just to let you guys know what's going on in our life, because we don't really get too personal like that. But I feel like today was a little bit different. So that's all I really had today. But just remember to take care of your mental health. Make sure that you're joining our Discord channel. Just make sure that you go out and just do things for you. For you. You don't have to be family. You don't have to be friends. Just do something for yourself today. I know I will.
Oh yeah, absolutely. After working 7 days straight, I mean, it's not often anymore that I work 7 days straight. When I first came in the military, it was, when I was on the ship, it was all the time. But now I work in an office where things that happen all over the world affect my office. But
Remember to take care of your mental health too, Wayne. Try
oh
to
yeah,
get a job that's really good for you, that you want to do, that you can work less hours and don't have to drive all the way 2 hours.
oh
Get
yeah.
something that's gonna work for you this time.
That's what I was gonna say. But I'm transitioning from the military soon. Although I am very grateful for the military and giving me everything that I have. Came in at 18, and I thought I knew the world, and now I have a totally different perspective. So I'm very grateful for the military, the Navy, for everything they've given me, and opportunities that I have going forward is because of the Navy. So, but there's stresses in every job. It's just like you were talking about in military or not. It's just different. Maybe it's different levels. But yeah, so I cannot wait to retire, and I'm definitely like money and the environment is like 1A and 1B, right? Because yes, I want the money to be good, but I also don't want to get paid and be miserable. So I want to go to a place that I feel empowered to do my job and let my ambition grow. But at the same time, like you know, I want to be happy at where I'm at too, and I don't want to be in a toxic environment where like, man, here goes so talking all that nonsense again, or like,
Yeah.
the
You
I
feel that
the
presence that you
yeah,
hate.
the place with the manager instead of the leader, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it. And if I go to a place, but I also can't take a place where like it's great, but I don't get paid much because my wife won't like that either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what's coming next. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm excited too to see what's coming next for you. But on that note, we appreciate all you guys for just liking, subscribing, and watching. Make sure you join the Discord because that's where the interactions really happen with our brothers that struggling. We always continuously having new members join, and I'm sure somebody in there is going to resonate with your story. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable. Take care of your mental health and get rid of people that's no good for you in your life, whether it's toxic friendships, jobs, family, whatever. Get rid of them if they're not making you happy. But on that note, you all have a great and wonderful day. See ya.
All right. Have a good one.